can download your movie in a matter of seconds. So what people like, and it's ready. So this millimeter wave spectrum gives it. But the millimeter waves are very fussy. They don't go through walls of our buildings. They don't go through trees. You are in forest. They don't go through. If it is raining, rain is absorbing them. You cannot communicate this way. So you have to figure out how to communicate. And there we are coming to small cells, meaning those cell towers, what we have now, they will be used, but we need small cells, tiny cell towers everywhere in order to communicate. Because, for example, here is cell tower in park, there are some trees, those cell phones will not get communication because trees will absorb it. So you need small cells to retransmit signal with some sort of zigzag to get to your phone. So this will be, this what people are concerned, some people are concerned that there will be plenty and plenty of this kind of small cell towers, gadgets on our walls, on lamps, wherever, just to help in communication. And then, of course, there will be so much of this communication that these old-fashioned cell towers will not be enough. So there will be this so-called MIMO, still multiple input, multiple output. This kind of cell tower will not manage to handle all this communication, what will be needed. So we will need more tower and more massive towers in order to handle all this communication with those millions of small cells. So it will be this quite dramatic change in this what we will see and what will be happening in our environment. And of course, what is the aim? This is here from Australia, that we will get these communities and everything, whatever we are doing, will be connected to internet and communicate with each other. So your car will be connected to internet, your dishwasher will be connected to internet, your electric toothbrush will be connected to internet. Everything will be there. And everything will be communicating with each other during this, using this 3G, 4G, and small cells from 5G. And of course, when looking at slides, this slide from Australia, from AMTA, there is what they need and what should be done, what government should be doing for them, and so on, everybody for them, but there is nowhere mentioned health. Nowhere is mentioned that some research on health should be done. And there is very limited biomedical research on this millimeter wave, this new part of spectrum that will be used. There are 2 epidemiological studies done in early 80s, and there are 195 studies, which are vast majority of them completely useless. We don't know what millimeter waves will do. Millimeter waves will do differently than this 4G and 3G radiation. Millimeter waves penetrate only our skin. Everything will be in our skin. So meaning all this radiation will be absorbed by our skin and by our eyes. And we don't know how this radiation affects biologically human skin. But there was a couple of years ago, Nokia and university in New York, they organized a symposium on what millimeter waves can do to human body, what we know about biology, and finally was published in IEEE microwave magazine, this sort of research, or a review article. But this review article is this kind of very funny attitude of scientists. On one hand, they say everything what is there problematic in this, what we know, what we don't know. but they give, in spite of all these problems that are coming up in their article, they give title to this, safe for generations to come. In article they say, we don't know what is happening, we have very little research, we have very few studies, we need more information because there is some coupling between skin and antennas, between eyes and antennas, whatever. We have very little, but title to this article is safe. But when you read the article, it doesn't look so safe. Or at least lack of information to make this kind of final decision. I will skip those couple of slides. All these slides are on my website, so free for grabs. And of course, now we can ask this deja vu, because with cell phones 1G through 4G, it was in 80s was considered that it is everything is fine, we can market it, no problem, low power. But today, it is considered as possible carcinogen. Again, we have future of 5G and Internet of Things. This is low power technology. When I asked recently on conference, how about health? Is there any consideration for health effects? Scientists from industry just stood up and said, but this is low power. It will be everything low power. So this is this attitude. It will be low power, so. But what future research will show, because definitely this technology will be deployed, will be coming, we will be doing research post-deployment. Interesting what will come out of this. Because of course, right now, even industry doesn't know exactly what this 5G technology will be, which frequencies will be used and where and how and so on. It is everything under development. Because, for example, how to deploy those small cells in huge railway station where there are crowds of people. So they are thinking this way, all these tiles on the floor, each will be one antenna. So wherever you are walking, you will have connection. And even this kind of crazy scenarios, what if we embed antennas for those cell phones in heels of our shoes? Maxwell Smart is coming to life. So even this kind of, they of course say this is everything considered and we are figuring out how to make this technology that will work. But there are some crazy scenarios. One can wonder what will happen. But never mind what will happen, as they say, Ultra 5G service in 5 years will be here. So here are a few conclusions from this, what I said, and I will not repeat them very much, but here is one thing. What is, I think, important is this, that is need for temporary moratorium on 5G and Internet of Things deployment before we learn something more. Because now we have 5 years before it is deployed. This would be last moment to start large toxicology studies on animals and start cohort studies on humans. But they are not happening. Nobody is bothering about that. And that's why this is very important, to make some temporary moratorium and do some research before we really deploy this everywhere.